Because, I mean, clearly he came through for you at the end of that clip, right?
She loves men to torture themselves for her. I mean, she likes to see guys in pain. No, I mean, I think all women can relate to kind of being in love with a guy who is a fixer-upper, you know? And I think Hopper has all those characteristics. I think he needs her help, and he's fun, and he's exciting, and uninhibited, obviously, and foolish. And I think, you know, they meet at a time in their lives when they're young, and she's the Admiral's daughter, so I think she likes that he's this kind of foolishly in love, ridiculously stupid at times character. Yeah, it's attractive in a way. When you're in your early 20s, I think.
Now, Alexander, what about you know, the relationship between the two of you? You know, tell us a little bit about the differences between these two brothers. You're much more straight-laced, I take it.
Yeah, and it's tough for Stone. He obviously loves his brother very much, but their father is not alive anymore. He's dead, and Stone is trying. He doesn't really know. His philosophy has always been to let Alex Hopper, Taylor's character, kind of make his own mistakes and learn from them and hopefully grow. And when we meet these guys, they're 20. He's 26, and he hasn't learned much. He's, you know, it gets to a point where Stone is like, I've tried to take a step back and not be too paternal and kind of, we're brothers, and I want to have fun with you, but it gets to a point where I just can't do that anymore. I just have to take charge and put him on the right path.
Now, you know, again, great character stuff we've seen here, but there is a lot of action in the film as well. So I'd like to ask both of you, Brooklyn and Alexander, what was it like working kind of in an action film of this magnitude?
Well, it was kind of scary. I remember this one day when Pete wanted to shoot me in the face. There was this one shot. There's a sequence where they blast. There's a sound wave, and they blow the windows of. I play a commanding officer of a U.S. Navy destroyer, and they blow up the windows. And he wanted a shot of me when the glass hits my face. And I said, yeah, that sounds pretty cool. How do we do that? And he's like, no, we'll figure out something cool. It's gonna look awesome. And I show up on the day, and it looks like a World War II cannon. It's probably like 25 feet long. And Pete's like, well, you're just gonna stand here, and you look straight into the barrel, and we're gonna shoot you in the face with air, and it's gonna like blow you off your feet. So it takes a lot, kind of leap of faith there. And he did, and I didn't have to act that at all, because I literally couldn't stand on my feet.
And that shot's in the trailer, I think. It looks great.
Yeah. But that's how much I trust this man.
Now, Brooklyn, what about you? Because your character also gets into the action in kind of a separate side story, right?
Well, I got to shoot guns, so it's a very happy camper. Well, Pete likes to, as you know, as Skarsgård here was saying, he likes to. He likes to.
You can call him Mrs. Skarsgård if you want.
I call him by their last name. It's like Hitch and Skarsgård. That's what we do.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, turn with endearment. Pete likes to make everything very real. So I remember one particular scene where, you know, it's the first time that I sort of stumble upon this scene of carnage. And for my character, I'm non-military, so it's definitely a foreign thing for anybody, but especially somebody who hasn't been in the military, experienced that before. So I'm kind of stumbling through the Hawaiian mountains, and I stumble upon the scene of carnage. And I'm supposed to be, this is one of my audition pieces, I'm supposed to be crying, snot dripping from my mouth, as said exactly by Pete, I think. He wanted snot bubbles, right? So in order to get that to seem authentic, Pete hid in the bushes with a machine gun. A machine gun, like this is crazy. And I'm supposed to be scared, and he calls action from where I don't know, and all of a sudden I hear a machine gun coming from the bushes, and better believe that I think you got the reaction. So to answer your question, I think it's really fun with someone like Pete because it makes it real, and you fully immerse yourself in it, and you're completely, you know, kind of taken by the scene in the moment, and he makes it scary, but it lends itself to it. It's fun.
Excellent. Well, I think that's a perfect segue to the next clip that you brought for us.
Okay, so I don't know, this is between us, but and I need you to keep this between us. There are aliens in Battleship. Just get it out now if you need to say something. There are aliens in Battleship, okay? So let me explain why.
Why, Peter?
Okay, so we're going to do Battleship, and we know we're going to have some very intense violence. As I said, I wanted to make a film that felt fun. I didn't want to make a movie, for those of you who are familiar with your World War II history, about the British sinking the Bismarck or the Battle of Midway and the intense violence that occurred between the Americans and the Japanese. Something that I understand and I respect, but I wanted to do something a little more fun. So I was trying to think who our enemy could be, and at about that time, I watched Stephen Hawking's documentary on aliens. Has anybody seen that? Stephen Hawking, awesome. So Stephen Hawking talked about something called Goldilocks planets. Have you guys ever heard of Goldilocks planets?
Yes.
They're real. You Google them, okay? Goldilocks planets are planets. I'll say this quickly, but I feel it's important to get off my chest. Goldilocks planets are planets that we've identified, that we've found, that are in solar systems similar to Earth, and they're planets that have a similar orbital relationship between their sun that our Earth has with our sun. Their suns burn at approximately the same frequency, and these are planets that in theory are most likely to have a climate that could support life, okay? We are targeting these planets, we really do this, NASA does it, with high frequency signals. The purpose of these signals is to basically say, hey, we're here, we're Earth. How you doing? Okay? Stephen Hawking said this is a horrible, stupid idea. He said that if they're out there, the last thing we should do is tell them where they are. And they're out there. Stephen Hawking, don't take my word, Google them. Read up, check my facts. Okay? So I read this and I thought, well, wouldn't it be interesting if in the beginning of the movie we identify a planet that is a Goldilocks planet, not too hot, not too cold, and we send a signal out. And that's how Battleship opens. Again, this is between us. I asked for this to stay in this room. And 5 years later, the goofball that you've seen, Taylor, is now in the Navy. His brother's a super stud in the Navy. He's on the verge of proposing to Brooklyn, whose father is Liam Neeson, who's the admiral, who hates Taylor's guts, and Taylor's scared to death of him, so Brooklyn's trying to broker a truce between the two of them, and we get a response. And we get a response in the form of 5 ships. And these guys didn't come looking to destroy us all. They came on our invitation, and things go a little south. And you're going to see a sequence where it's later in the film, and we are in the midst of one of our contacts with some of these aliens, whom we call Regents. And I just want to say one other thing about another cast member who's not here, but I'm very happy to say that this film marks the acting debut of a young lady named Rihanna, who is awesome. And for all the doubters and the skeptics, you know, let me say, I have a long history in believing in musicians turned actor, starting with Frank Sinatra, who won an Oscar for From Here to Eternity. Brooklyn and I were talking about Whitney Houston on the way down here, and what a great job she did in The Bodyguard. I personally had great success with Tim McGraw in Friday Night Lights in the Kingdom. I believe that musicians often make great actors. Rihanna showed up, and she asked for no special treatment. She said, treat me like an actor, and she stayed in the same, you know, small, kind of depressing hotels that we all did, and the small trailers, and worked her butt off. And you'll see some of her here, and I think all of us couldn't be happier for her, and we're huge supporters of her, and I think you guys will all be really impressed with her. So this is a little bit of Rihanna, a little bit of Taylor, and an alien that we call Thug. Enjoy.